Hey y'all, and welcome to Culture Cult, where we are one podcast with 197 countries to explore travel, stories, and history from. I'm your host, Marie, and this episode we're diving into a country. So each season we feature different countries to highlight, whether it be randomly spinning on the globe, fan choice, or featuring a local from a certain country and hearing their perspective. If you would like to come on the podcast and talk about your country, feel free to reach out to my email, culturecultshow at gmail.com, or on Instagram at culturecultshow. If you like the show, leave a review, share it with your best friend, your favorite coworker, your cousin, anyone you think who'd also like it. It really helps out the podcast, but also more people get to learn about the world. Hope y'all enjoy this episode. Cheers and enjoy. Hey y'all, welcome back. Today we are going to be talking about volcanoes, which I'm so excited about. But not just any kind of volcanoes. Today we're talking about the eruptions of Mt Tambora and the famous eruption of the 1883 disaster of Krakatoa. I'm really excited about this one. If you are new to this podcast, welcome. So just a little disclaimer, this podcast is not like a very serious place. We are serious about learning about the world and learning about other cultures, but this is a place to kind of let loose and goof around. So I also want to say, I'm not a geologist and I'm not a historian, unfortunately. And this isn't the National Geographic. So if you do want to hear about Krakatoa and this incredible, terrifying disaster from a more serious and documentary style way of storytelling, may I direct you to this fantastic podcast called The Natural Disasters. Definitely less laughs and more anxiety, I will say, but they really did a good job of telling the story. But if you want to hear about these horrific events, but with a good time, then you came to the right place. So, okay, y'all, with that said, let's hear about the horrifying eruptions of Mt Tambora and the infamous eruption of Krakatoa. Enjoy. Hey. We're here. You're gonna have a new person on today.
That's right.
You never heard of her before.
Well, that's a shame.
That's my bad. We have on my oldest friend, Danny, and we're in our Nashville home because I live in Nashville now. Today, we're going to talk today about Indonesia. What do you know about Indonesia? It's okay if you don't know anything.
I don't know anything. That's my honest answer.
Okay, what do you think it looks like?
A continent.
Oh.
On a continent.
Okay.
A location. I don't know. Could you repeat the question?
What do you think Indonesia looks like? It's not even a map, like colors. Is it
vivacious?
Okay.
It's brown. It's pretty and tan, and there's the sun, and like everything's like
brown. That's not usually a good thing.
I think brown is pretty. Like the sand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's an island.
Yeah.
How many islands do you think it has?
I'm sweating. Okay. I'm not good at geography. 4. Is it about that bad?
You should go higher. Like shoot for the stars.
Like 44.
17,000.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And so this is like the 3rd episode. So people who've listened to the other Indonesian episodes will know this stuff, but you're coming on. So you don't know. 17,000 islands. It's
wow.
like the 4th, I think, most densely populated country in the world.
Oh, wow.
Which is crazy because I feel like a lot of people don't know that. So it's like China, US, India, and then Indonesia.
Okay.
So Indonesia is above Australia. There's so many different cultures there. And historically, it's been known to be very good about mixture of religions too. Like it's been Hinduism, Buddhism, some Christianity. And then now it's incredibly Islamic. There's a lot of Islam there.
Okay.
So, and apparently drinking is not cool there. Also learned that.
I guess I can't go.
And also a new fact. I just heard on the news that you can't have sex there until you're married. You'll go to jail or something.
Definitely cannot go there. What?
I think it's okay for tourists because they have a huge tourist population that goes there. But
that's disappointing.
Yeah, I would rebel.
Yeah. That must be really hard. Could you imagine living somewhere where there's all those rules about like your social life?
What would I do?
We wouldn't. We just wouldn't.
We just wouldn't. Yeah. So maybe it's not for us to live there.
Yeah.
But to enjoy. And also, but there's just all different kinds of islands. A lot of people go to Bali, but it's like over touristy there. So there's like so many different cultures. And
Yeah.
So there's a lot of islands you can go see. But then there's, I think, like 6,000 islands that are not even inhabited. So
Wow.
there's a lot to
My God.
explore in Indonesia. Yeah. One of the first things that attracted me to Indonesian culture is the way they dress. They wear so much gold. There's always like, it's very intricate. Their art's very intricate. It's a lot of gold. It's so beautiful. So that's a little bit of Indonesia. That is just a little breakdown. But this is going to be kind of an intense episode.
Okay.
So Indonesia is crazy.
Oh.
Their nature is the most volatile on earth.
Ooh.
Yeah. So that's what I'm telling you today.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about volcanoes.
Okay.
We're going to learn about the famous volcanic eruptions of Krakatoa, which is like one of the largest volcanic eruptions that's ever happened in history. It's called Krakatoa.
Krakatoa.
Yeah. Before that, we do that, I think it'd be really fun to do some like fun, weird news that's happened in Indonesia.
Okay.
The first story is one you're going to love.
Okay.
This one goes, the head of Indonesia's drug law enforcement is reportedly recruiting crocodiles to guard a proposed island prison for drug offenders.
Oh, hell no. So on top of being petrified of fire and other natural disasters, like I don't do crocodiles or alligators. No, that's a no for me.
Yeah. So imagine like prison already sucks. And now your guard is a crocodile.
Oh my, no.
So scary.
That's
and
terrifying.
They're going to train them to be even more aggressive than they already are. Now they're being employed as prison guards. So that's happening. It says, according to the Jakarta Post, National Narcotics Agency Chief General Budi Waseso said he wants to surround the island with as many crocodiles as we can.
Oh, hell no.
That sounds like it's going to be a shit show.
Yeah.
It sounds like they're going to try to control the crocodiles, and the crocodiles are not going to understand the difference between the guards and the prisoners.
I mean, it sounds like my actual worst nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I just don't see this going well. But I don't know if you know this, but in Indonesia, it's like really not a place to bring drugs or do drugs or be anywhere near drugs.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Like I think it's Indonesia and Singapore. They take it really seriously, like deadly serious. 2 Australian drug smugglers were executed by firing squad in Indonesia earlier this year.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So if you bring drugs to Indonesia, or if I guess you're caught doing it, you could be sent to this crocodile prison that they're making, and they literally will execute you. So just keep that in mind. Like, if I don't know how extensive it is with drugs there, like,
yeah.
But crocodile guards are just one suggestion. According to Mashable, which is a website, Waseso has repeatedly said he thinks drug dealers should be forced to consume all of their confiscated, whatever the fuck that word is, merchandise, forcing themselves to overdose.
Oh my God.
I think this guy has a personal vendetta.
It sounds like he has mommy issues.
It sounds like he never got invited to a party.
Yeah.
And now when other people party, he's like, I want a crocodile to eat your soul.
God.
The crocodile thing's like, okay, that's whack. But like the fact that he's like, I want you to take all your drugs and force yourself to die of an overdose. It's
that's like beyond torture.
But this is coming from America, where in LA, I saw someone do heroin on the street, and that's their right.
It is their God-given right on this planet. If they want to do heroin on the street, shoot up.
Shoot up, baby.
That's right.
Roll Tide, America.
I'm in.
Amen. So first news story. Second news story. This one's from coconut.co.
I love that.
I know.
Oh, okay, cute. Continue.
Okay, I'm gonna change your mind about crocodiles. This one's title is Crocodile Delivers Body of a 4-year-old Boy Believed to Have Drowned in the River. This one's really sad.
Because he ate it.
No, he didn't. It said the boy had no bite marks. The crocodile delivered him and then swam away.
Wow.
So like a prehistoric creature that has no incentive to save anything.
Yeah.
Decided, I guess he could see how
like,
much pain.
Maybe it was a woman crocodile.
Maybe.
That sounds like a
An
woman.
empathetic.
She was a woman, clearly.
Yeah.
Wow. One good apple in the bunch. Good for her.
So maybe like, not all is bad with the crocs.
Yeah, but if that boy were alive, do you think she still would have been so gentle?
I don't know.
You're not going to change my mind.
Or she could have just been full. She's like, I'm already full.
Yeah.
But point is, she didn't bring it to tear apart with her other crocodile.
Yeah,
friends.
that was
She
nice.
literally the crocodile, brought the little boy back to the island, and it didn't attack anyone. Like, just swam away. I know.
That was a good girl.
I
Good
know.
girl. She needs a cape.
I know. Crocodile Cape.
Mm-hmm.
Good band name.
Add it to the list.
That's our band. Don't steal it.
No.
Crocodile.
Trademark.
Crocodile Cape.
Yeah.
Coming to you, to your town soon.
Listen out.
It's kind of like Rock Lobster vibes.
Rock lobster?
Yeah, but it's like Crocodile Cape.
Crocodile kite saved a little boy who was already dead.
That's it. That's our show.
And scene.
So coming to you soon. Okay, last story. Nothing to do with crocodile. This one comes from Gaza1010.com. Man marries rice cooker. An official wedding. Says he has no time for women.
Oh?
He even dressed up his rice cooker to look like a bride. It has like a veil.
Stop.
And everything.
Who gave her away? Who gave her away at the wedding? Was it the oven?
Also, what is virgin in Indonesian? Anybody?
Any takers? But I would just marry the rice.
No.
Right?
Right?
Yeah. Why the cooker?
Right? Do you have rice for it?
No.
You forgot that part.
He didn't think this through.
No, he didn't. His name's Anam. Anam says he doesn't have time for women, so he decided to marry his rice cooker, as it was, quote, fair, obedient, loving, and good at cooking.
Well, that was sweet.
To the rice cooker.
I have a newfound respect. What a lovely thing to say.
But 4 days later, Mr. Anam divorced the kitchen appliance, saying that it could only cook rice.
Well, damn. It took him 4 days to figure that out. 4 days.
I was like, why won't it take me on dates? Like, why won't it take in my emotional capacity for love? Why won't it have sex with me?
That poor.
Maybe that's why they banned sex. They were like, y'all don't even know how to do it.
Yeah, exactly. No wonder.
So he announced the divorce on Facebook. That's what he also said.
Okay. That adds up.
So I'm starting to think like maybe he's the problem. It's not the women. It's not the rice cooker.
It could be.
It could be you, Anam.
Yeah.
Therapy.
So
those are our fun little stories.
I like those.
Before we get into like the intense one, which is about the volcanoes. So like buckle up, y'all.
All
We're
right.
about to hear about one of the two, or actually talking about two volcanoes, the two largest eruptions ever on Earth. We're about to talk about.
Oh shit. Okay.
Hi, Caitlin.
Hi, Alex.
We're Cryptid Queens, and we're fascinated by cryptids, folklore,
Aliens, ghosts, urban legends.
anything mysterious and otherworldly.
Join us as we feature cryptids from a different place around the world each episode.
Every culture has different folklore surrounding the unknown, and we'd love to share them with you.
Check us out and subscribe.
Cryptid Queens.
So we're back. So I guess I assumed there were volcanoes in Indonesia, but I didn't really understand that it's like the spot.
So I did not know that either.
Yeah, you also thought it was 4 islands.
Did not know it was an island. Let's start there.
No, my first episode was Belize, and I thought Belize was an island, and I realized it's not. It's below Mexico, and I actually really want to go.
Okay.
So that's the thing about this podcast. You can admit you don't know shit.
I admit
That
I do not know shit.
All right. So the reason why Indonesia has a bunch of volcanic activity is because it's sitting on 5 colliding plates.
What?
5.
Holy shit.
So that's the Eurasian plate, Australian plate, Indian plate, the Sunda plate. The 5th one is the Pacific plate.
Okay.
And they're all constantly moving.
Yep.
Constantly.
That sounds not good.
Yeah. And it's like a lot of tension, you know?
Yeah.
So this makes the Indonesian landscape beautiful because there's a lot of volcanoes. They have the most fertile soil. Like, it's gorgeous. It's so green. And the flowers. It's also just so dangerous.
Yeah, that's actually really scary.
It's kind of like a catch-22. You live in the most beautiful place on Earth, but it also be the place that might kill you.
Like Australia.
Like Australia.
They got some scary shit there too.
California, where I used to live too. It's also so beautiful, but lots of earthquakes.
Yeah.
But this place is like earthquakes, tsunami, volcanoes.
Everything I hate. Yeah.
But it's also so beautiful. And so it's kind of always a ticking time bomb.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about 2 eruptions. The loudest and largest eruption ever witnessed was Krakatoa. And then this lesser talked about one is a really deadly eruption called Mt Tambora. It caused a year without summer.
What?
A year of just cold.
What? How?
I know. Okay.
How does that even happen?
Because everything's connected in nature.
What? Was there like so much like ash and...
I will tell you.
Oh,
You ready?
Okay. Yes.
so we have to talk about this time period for both these volcanoes. They happened literally right after each other.
Oh my God.
In the 1800s. So if you're in the 1800s,
I mean, you're already fucked in the 1800s. Every day is a battle.
every day. And especially if you're like a woman in general, that sucks.
God.
Now add being a woman in the 1800s in Indonesia with volcanoes, with a new colonizing force coming your way, as usual, the Dutch.
The Dutch?
Oh yeah.
You don't hear about the Dutch,
East
do you?
Trading Company. Remember
I've heard
Pirates of the
that.
Caribbean?
Yeah.
So they took over all of this part of the world for trade, and it became like the world's wealthiest company. I'm paraphrasing, y'all, but the British and the Dutch were always at war at this part of the world because there were so many spices.
Oh.
Spices, coffee.
Yeah.
Like, and so it was constant war between the Brits and the Dutch. But the Dutch got a stakehold in Indonesia because of the spices. So back then, it was known as the Spice Islands, where over 30,000 species of spices were growing because of the volcanic soil. These spice islands included half of the world's spices we know as today. Things we love: pepper,
Yes.
cumin, turmeric,
Yes.
but most importantly, nutmeg.
Oh.
Nutmeg was really big in
okay.
Indonesia.
And it's a brown spice.
It's a brown
I'm just throwing
spice.
it out there that I was not wrong.
You're not wrong.
Again.
You're not wrong. These spices have been there for thousands of years for the native people there. They respected them. They're seen as a resource, but obviously to the colonizers, it's just a way of gold. And so they encroached on the islands. Again, nutmeg was the most important one. It was worth more than its weight in gold.
Oh my God.
So before the Europeans were there, these islands were ruled by Java, which was a really amazing time. You could be any kind of religion, and there was a lot of trade and a lot of harmony between all the cultures because Indonesia has a lot of culture there. So it was really cool. But then Dutch people came in and exploited them, made them slaves to their own land, kicked them out of their homes, probably tore down their homes, built their fancy homes, and was like, work on the land that your family for centuries has had. And now all the spices that you have are now going to go to Europe, and you're not going to make any money off of it.
That's so fucked.
Dude. So this is a horrible time.
Yes.
We haven't even gotten to the volcanoes. So the first volcano is Mt Tambora. And weird fact, it's possibly linked to the reason writer Mary Shelley all the way over in Europe wrote Frankenstein.
Really?
Isn't that cool?
Ooh.
Yeah, so I'll explain that. It's not as famous as the others. When that erupted, there wasn't as much technology.
Yeah.
And so, but it's just as scary as Krakatoa, but which is very famous. So Mt Tambora, April 10th, 1815. It was one of the tallest mountains in Indonesia. It was the same height as Mount Rainier in Washington. So that's a huge mountain.
Okay.
It's has snow on it.
Oh, wow.
It's tall.
That's real tall.
Yeah. So ain't no more.
Yeah.
As science would say. So early that month, soldiers hundreds of miles away on the island of Java heard rumbling, and they thought it was just cannon fire, but it was Mt Tambora's warning sign. According to the Smithsonian, I'm about to spit out a lot of facts.
Okay, I'm ready.
On April 10th, 3 columns of fire shot out of the mountain. A plume of smoke and gas reached 25 miles into the atmosphere. Fire-generated winds uprooted trees. Pyroclastic flows, incandescent ash poured down the slopes at more than 100 miles an hour, destroying everything in its path, boiling and hissing into the sea 25 miles away. Huge floating rafts of pumice trapped ships at harbor. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so scary. So according to Wired, which is a really big magazine, ash rained down for weeks. You could bury the state of Rhode Island in 55 meters or 183 feet of ash.
Oh my God.
I don't even understand what that means. Or you could bury Singapore in 800 feet of ash.
What?
I feel like I want to look that up again, but that's literally what I copied and pasted.
What?
I don't even understand that. That's too much ash.
That's ridiculous. That's terrifying.
183 feet of ash. What? Okay. Well, that's from Wired.
Wired.
Okay, so
You're crazy.
I didn't make that up. You Wired. Crazy.
Where do you come up with that?
What?
Come on now.
I don't. Okay, well, we'll move on from that. But a lot of ash, y'all. 90,000 people died on the islands of Sumbawa and Lombok, which is a very famous backpacker spot today.
Oh.
But that was just the beginning of Mount Tambora's effects. Its effects were global and long-lasting, and we could even see the effects today.
Oh, wow.
Mount Tambora released unimaginable amounts of magma and sulfur in the air, which is just pure energy. In the span of a few days, it released the same amount of energy as the consumption of the entire United States in 1 year.
What? Oh my God.
Yeah. So great quantities of sulfurous gas from the volcano mixed with water vapor in the air propelled stratospheric winds. A haze of sulfuric acid, acerol, ash, and dust circled the earth and blocked sunlight, causing starvation.
Oh my God.
So it's like, I guess when people think of volcano, they're like thinking lava.
Yeah.
But I think what we don't think about, I don't know, like in the Hawaiian volcanoes, it's always lava that we see. But I guess maybe what's happening in the Indonesian volcanoes, it carries a lot of like gas and ash and lots of chemicals.
I didn't think about that. Yeah.
So it's not the lava. I didn't even hear it talk about lava. Honestly, it seemed like the thing exploded.
Yeah.
Versus, I think, maybe a healthy volcano, one that releases pressure a lot.
Yeah.
Maybe has... I'm making stuff up, guys.
No, it sounds legit. Keep going.
Like the mountain blew up. And that's why I think all this stuff got in the air.
Yeah.
But it didn't stop there. Cold weather killed crops from China all the way to Europe. And raining and flooding in Europe, and then all the way to North America. So the whole world was just experiencing like cold weather, not seeing the sun at all for a whole year.
And that was in April.
This was in April.
That's crazy.
Dude. So if they had summer plans, it ain't happening that year.
Yeah. Damn.
Oh, it's so scary. God. So
did they even have summers in the 1800s?
Definitely.
Oh.
The rich did. Rich would go on adventures.
Wow.
You know? So that leads us to our crazy fact. In the summer in Switzerland, it was incredibly and weirdly rainy and gloomy that year. Mary Shelley, the writer of Frankenstein, wrote her book in a gloomy cabin that year because they couldn't go outside. And so her and Lord Byron, who's a very famous poet, had a competition in their little cabin. Just like, not like an official one, just like, it's raining, we can't go outside. You write a story. I'll write a story.
Oh my God.
Whoever's is scarier will win our competition.
I love that. Can we do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Next
time it rains.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I don't know. I feel a lot of pressure. But...
It'll be fine.
Okay. Well, she blew up after that, and now we have to read Frankenstein in school, and there's movies, and it created a whole new genre of horror.
I mean, I don't think we're going to do that, but...
I don't know. I think I could write. You know what? Side note, I wrote something so scary in my creative writing class in high school that one day we had a little fun little exercise of like, who in the room would be a cop? Who in the room would be a movie star? Who in the room would be a murderer? And they wrote me.
I could see that.
But I was very emo in 11th grade.
Yeah.
So I wrote such a bloody, horrifying story that they said I was going to be the murderer.
You know what? You were wise.
I was not. I was emo.
We were cultured. We knew way more than they did.
No, I was a demon. I made a girl cry in the creative writing class.
Why? What?
Because her poem was so bad.
And you told her?
Yo.
Maria, that's terrible.
I know. I live with it. Her name, I can't remember her name, but she was very sweet. She was very sweet. She just wasn't the best writer. And not that I was, but she wrote this poem, and it was straight up like, roses are red, violets are blue. I wish I didn't miss you.
Oh, that's so
I don't know
sad.
what she wrote, but it was essentially like that. And I literally was like, this poem has no depth.
Oh my God. You were one of those.
Asshole.
Yeah, you were.
I'm here to admit it. So
admit you don't know shit.
Admit you don't know shit. And that girl, you
should send her some flowers, some roses and violets.
She's like, are you taunting me again? Side note. Okay. I was a bully. Back to volcanoes. So this volcano and all the way in Indonesia had such devastating effects that in general in Indonesia, if a volcano erupts, like we're all going to be affected by it.
Damn.
It's kind of like how I'm coming off. So that's just one volcano in the 1800s. And now here comes Krakatoa.
Triple fuck.
Krakatoa. Very famous monster volcanic eruption. It happened when there was more technology, so people wrote about it more personal accounts, more news. So back to Indonesia. In the middle of the Sunda Strait, between the major islands of Java and Sumatra, sitting on the Eurasian plate and the Australian plate is Krakatoa, a volcano that at this point has been brewing for about a millennium.
Oh my God.
So again, I feel like these volcanoes don't release a lot of tension.
Yeah. So when they do, it's like fucking huge.
Yes.
It's like the whole shebang.
We were talking about this last night, how like you need to communicate your emotions.
Exactly. It's the shelf metaphor for you guys who don't know.
Spill it.
Okay, well, it might not come out sounding very literate, so bear with me. But when someone does something and it bothers you or hurts your feelings and you don't share it, you're just adding a book to your metaphorical shelf. And the more books on your shelf, you're just going to fucking explode one day. It's all going to collapse. That's why
You're not going to communicate.
Exactly. As a book is added to your shelf, you got to get that shit off your shelf. Say it to the person. Say why it's bothering you. Like, let it off your chest.
Mm-hmm.
And you just feel so much lighter.
Yeah.
Have empty shelves, you guys.
Yes. Don't be Krakatoa.
Exactly.
Because Krakatoa didn't communicate to Indonesia.
It bottled it all up.
Y'all, well, here's the big thing. The big theory is that the local Indonesians were like, you're upsetting the god of Krakatoa. And I'll say the name later on. I wrote it down. But the god of Krakatoa is angered by the mistreatment of Indonesia.
Well, he should have told them from the get-go, not let that shit bottle up.
Exactly. I mean, I think Tambora was a pretty big, like,
Yeah.
hey guys, like, can you please leave our islands?
Yeah.
So it's been brewing for over a millennium. It erupted 1,000 years before, but not much history is on it. So, and then centuries earlier, in 535 CE, the volcano had been hypothesized to have an effect of a large movement of rats, which led to a plague.
Did you say rats?
Yeah.
A large movement of rats?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know why. That sounds fucking precious. Like them coming in with like their flags and like their picket signs, like coming in like it's a protest. How cute. We want cheese. We need it now. And that is precious. Precious.
That's what the volcano led to.
Yes.
Yeah. Stand up, rats.
That's right.
It's your time.
God.
Honestly, rats and mice get a horrible rap.
They do.
And we've all learned this in Ratatouille, that they also could be chefs.
You know what? We should listen to them.
This is like literally, I think they're hinting that it caused a plague. Like rats left this one area because of a volcano. And so it moved to another area and it was too much rats. And so too much disease, therefore death. So again, 1800s, Indonesia, scary, no bueno. Dutch have taken over. Native Indonesians are now servants and slaves and sole producers of the spices. And the Dutch have no idea of the power of the land they just stole. And the Indonesians think the volcano Krakatoa is actually the god named Oran Elijah. I like the name Oran, though.
Yeah.
So they're very aware that this volcano has powers. So 23 miles north of Krakatoa is Kettenbang. So in Kettenbang were two crucial witnesses to the eruption. Willem Beyrink and his wife, Johanna. Yeah. They are the town controllers. And in March 1883, 6 months before the eruption, Krakatoa started to stir, and locals in Kettenbang felt faint tremors. The village elders started sensing that something was going to happen, and they knew the god Oran was getting angry.
Elders know everything.
Yeah. I mean, they know their land.
Yeah.
And they sensed the warnings, but no one decided to leave. So why? Well, I'm hypothesizing why people weren't leaving. I think you think about the situation that the locals were in. They had no money because now they're slaves and servants. And they also probably were scared of the colonizers.
Yeah.
You know?
No shit.
So, and the colonizers, why would you leave the place that's making you money?
True. Yeah.
Like, screw the trimmers. I'm sure it'll be fine. I have my spice trade. I have to control my island. I have to control my power. I can't leave, you know? So all the warnings go overlooked. Across the Sunda Strait, a series of lighthouses were put up for Dutch trading ships, and they too saw a warning from Krakatoa. A very famous lighthouse now is called the Fourth Point Lighthouse, and a man named Tomang, he was Indonesian, was recently appointed the lighthouse keeper, who had a wife and son. He was the very first witness to see the signs of Krakatoa. In 1883, in May, Tomang witnessed something very chilling. He felt the lighthouse shake, and then he went outside to look at what was happening.
Yeah.
And the waves on the ocean stopped. The ocean went flat.
Oh, hell no.
And very calm for an instant. The ocean turned into a lake.
Fuck that.
Or a pond.
That just sent like chills. I don't even know what I'd do.
Exactly. He didn't know what to do.
Yeah, just like pass out.
Yeah.
Just that's it.
Well, National Geographic thinks Tomang witnessed the introduction of magma into the ocean floor. Isn't that cool? The magma split the crust apart, and now the volcano was becoming congested. Again, not communicating. I'm sure Tomang was terrified, and if I was him, I would feel very small. So another key witness is a Dutch ship, the General Luden. Yes.
That's it.
That was passing even closer to Krakatoa. The commander of the ship was Captain Johan Lindemann. We like him, by the way.
Yeet.
They were the closest to the destruction. He is an incredible witness. So let's go over our witnesses. We have the Dutch couple on the island of Kettenbang, Tomang, the lighthouse keeper, and the Dutch ship witness. These are our crucial witnesses and the reason why we know a lot about Krakatoa and why we don't know as much about Tambora.
Yeah.
So 11 days after the tremor of the lighthouse in the morning of May 20th, 1883, the island of Krakatoa started releasing her pressure, letting out the very first eruption. The ash started rising above 30,000 feet, and Captain Lindemann and his crew were the very first to see it, and shock waves were felt all the way in Kettenbang and 83 miles away in Batavia, which is now known as Jakarta. But again, people still stayed. No one, I'm sure maybe a few people left, but everyone kept doing their thing. People really should have left, though, but there was an eerie calm that hadn't happened after this. So now Krakatoa is given 2 to 3 warnings.
Yeah.
That shit's about to go down. Little do they know, 3 months from now, the entire island of Krakatoa would not exist.
Oh my God.
It would completely blow itself
Oh my God.
up. So jump ahead to the very fateful day of August 26, 1883. This morning was a very special morning for Johanna and William. I guess William and the people of Kettenbang. They were throwing a celebration for the opening of the market. Woo!
Yay.
Market day. It's super exciting for everyone, but Johanna, she's been more wary than Willem.
Woman's intuition.
Yeah, she was like, I'm not feeling good. And it didn't help that day at the market. A local woman approached her and said her chickens were not laying eggs anymore, and the birds on the islands were flying south.
What? Hello?
Everyone knows.
Yeah.
Not a good sign. Another warning, and they had a lot of warnings at this point. 6 minutes past 1. Any fear that Johanna and the local woman had come true. All 3 craters on the island had blown itself apart. They all erupted. This is, again, more facts that I will never understand. Krakatoa blew 150 million tons of power of TNT in the air.
What?
It exploded 20 million tons of sulfur in the atmosphere within seconds. To put that in perspective, the eruption had the force of 1,000 atomic bombs.
What the fuck?
I don't even understand this information.
No, we can't even conceptualize that.
Eruptions was so loud, it was heard over 12% of the Earth's surface, and shock waves went around the planet 7 times.
What?
So it means I think everyone felt it.
Yeah.
Even if you didn't know you felt it, you felt it.
Yeah, I mean, if 12% could hear it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's honestly, kind of like space. I don't know how to fathom it.
It's really hard to. Yeah.
I'm just thinking about how loud. The loudest thing I've heard, and it's really loud.
But from all the way over there.
Or just think about being next to it. Your ears would probably be shot to hell.
Well, they're all dead.
Well, not yet.
Okay.
It erupted.
It didn't immediately.
So this Krakatoa is on its own island over there.
Okay.
They're on a neighboring island. So they hear it, they feel it. The stuff is going into the air. The stuff hasn't reached them yet.
That's terrifying. Yeah.
So back at the festival in Kettenbang, they were used to the tremors, but not the deafening sounds. Everyone crouched on the ground as the ground sent shock waves for 10 minutes straight. So, yeah, everyone's on the ground, terrified to death. By the late afternoon, this blue sky was completely black and everything had gone completely dark, and heavy, hot ash and pumice. I feel like I'm saying that word wrong.
Pumice?
Pumice.
Oh, gross.
Pumice? Let's go with
pumice.
Okay.
That's a thing.
Ew.
Keep it in there.
Pumice was raining on everyone in Kettenbang, and everyone was panicking for shelter. Johanna begged her husband to go back to their home in the hills, but Willem didn't want to leave and appear weak to the local rebels, because that's more important than surviving.
Of course. Image
first.
Image before safety.
Little did he know there would soon be no island left to rebel against. They had no idea that a tsunami was gathering. A wall of 30 feet of ash and pumice was plummeting towards them.
Yeah.
Dude, this is
at least it wasn't pumice.
Honestly, the volcano, that's terrifying. But the tsunami,
hit.
This is where my nightmare starts.
God.
I also have nightmares about tsunamis. Water is the element that scares me the most. I know yours is
Really?
fire.
Yeah.
But the power of water terrifies me.
I'm scared of all of it.
The power.
But fire the most, yeah.
So tsunami is coming. So let's talk about Captain Linden on the ship of the General Loudon. I feel like this is confusing, but whatever.
Linden,
Like the ship is called the General Loudon.
Loudon, not Linden.
Yeah, but his name is Captain Linden.
Captain Loudon. No. On the General Linden.
Captain Linden captaining the ship of the General Loudon.
That's his own fault. He deserves it.
You can't be a captain of a general.
No.
Who did this?
Stupid.
I feel like it didn't translate in English right.
No.
I think that's honestly because it's a Dutch ship, so it'd be in Dutch.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Who translated this?
All right.
It wasn't me. So they are right next to the volcano where all 3 craters blew up. So they're like wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah.
And they are the first to witness the tsunami, and they're just on a steamboat. So like the volcano blows up, and now the tsunami's headed their way.
Oh my God.
And they're on a steamboat. So on the boat, hot ash was pouring onto the boat, and they had to start shoveling it off the boat and quickly because it would sink the boat.
Oh my God.
So they had to stand out there in the hot ash, burning their skin, but making sure it gets off the boat because otherwise they'll just sink into the hot ocean.
Oh, fuck that. Fuck that.
This is a tourist boat.
Yeah.
So this is full of tourists. And now they're pretty much at war with nature.
Yeah.
The captain's like, put your headphones down, like, let's go. Like, get the hot ash off the hot boat. So, just a foot of the ash staying on the boat could destabilize the ship. So they had to make sure all the ash was off. This is where I'm confused on the time thing, but it says they did this for 12 hours straight.
What?
So I don't know when the tsunami happened. I think, okay. So maybe the hot ash from the volcano was rising up and falling onto the boat. And then once it exploded, maybe a day later, once the volcano exploded a day later, that's when the tsunami was coming.
Yeah, makes sense.
So the ash was sucking moisture from the air. And so they couldn't even really breathe while they were doing this. So the next morning, if anyone slept, there was no morning at all. It was just blackness outside. And Krakatoa was entering a new phase. After 20 hours of the eruption, the magma chamber was finally empty. With nothing to support it, the entire volcano collapsed into the sea.
Oh my God.
So now you're watching a mountain just
dissolve into the ocean.
like a mountain.
Could you imagine just seeing that? Like just witnessing that?
It would be the actual word incredible.
Yeah.
And not in a positive way. Just
huge. There's no other word. Yeah.
Yeah. So now the entire island has disappeared, and the massive tsunami is the next phase of this hell freaking day. This tsunami was headed towards the lighthouse with Tamang and then Kedembang, which with the 2 Dutch people, and the ship General Linden on the General, and with the ship that Captain Linden
London.
Linden London was on.
Yes.
We'll just call him that. And he was, again, the first to witness the tsunami. So I don't know how they even could even see it with all the ash, but they witnessed 120-foot tsunami wall of water.
Oh my God.
Headed their way. But Captain Linden London, again, he's a badass. And he was like, I'm gonna save all of y'all.
Yeah.
I'm gonna save all y'all. 100,
all right.
100 crew and passengers. He was like, y'all, no one's gonna die today. So his game plan was to anchor the boat immediately. He tied himself to the wheel because he's a true captain.
Aww,
he goes down with the ship if needed and head full speed into the tsunami.
Oh, fuck yeah. Linden, London, love it.
Linden, love it.
All right.
And so, he anchored the boat, tied himself to the wheel, and now he's headed full speed on a steamboat up this 120-foot wave.
I think I truly would just pass out. I think something like that, I would just pass out and not experience it at all.
Throw up. I think... But actually, I feel like I do stay weirdly calm in situations like that. Because I feel like I'm just like, don't freak out.
I would miss myself.
That's how you use the word.
That's right.
So this is like the worst roller coaster of your life. So I don't know if me and Danny, we've boogie boarded before. Yeah. We know how to boogie board.
We are pro boogie boarders.
We boogie board the massive waves of the Gulf of Mexico. the 2-foot waves that come your way. And my God, that is a thrill when you hit the wave right.
Oh, and you just ride it on
that fucking wave out
to the shore. Yeah.
Okay, so that's probably what he's feeling, but in terror.
Yeah.
How we feel when we boogie board. So
one and the same. Mm-hmm.
So essentially, what I mean by that is like you have to hit the wave at the right time. Yeah. He had to be amazing at this timing. He can't think about it. But the thing is, he did it right. They make it.
They all survived?
They all survived. He gets the boat over a 120-foot wave and ride that baby down.
What? Could you imagine being on that boat at that time? That's when I would wake up. Yes. I'm like, wake up, Danny, it's happening. Woo! Yeah.
It's still probably terrifying to go down.
Oh, yeah.
Because my thought is like, if we go too fast, are we going to go forward?
That's true. Well, is it like a wall on the other side too? Or is it just more at an angle on the way down?
Know.
I feel like it's more angled on the way down, right?
But still...
I mean, yes, terrifying no matter what, of course.
Damn, and also what a strong anchor holding down the boat.
Yeah. How long is the anchor? I don't believe that. London is a liar.
No, he's not.
The anchor?
He saved people, Danny.
It's not 120 feet long.
You don't know.
Well, no, I don't know.
If you're a captain of a ship and you know a lot about anchors, I would like
please
to know.
Tell us.
Email me at culturecultshow@gmail.com and please educate us on how long an anchor is.
Yeah.
And can you anchor your boat and go over a 120-foot wave? And do you think you can do it?
That's the real question.
That's the real question. Well, honestly, I don't know about anchors, but that's what he said. He anchored it. That's how they stayed stable. I don't know. He made it. It doesn't matter. They made it. So he's a badass. We love Captain London. God. And he was later awarded the Cross of Gold by the Dutch. And his logbook of this event is very crucial to this whole...
Yeah.
He was like logging this whole thing while it was happening. Probably not while he was...
But that's amazing. See, I would black out. I would black out throughout the whole thing. If I were actually still awake and conscious, I would black out. And I'd be like, I couldn't tell you what happened. Couldn't tell you.
Award of cowardice goes to Captain Danielle Justice.
That's me. Thank you. Thank you kindly.
So they're fine. They somehow are weirdly did the right thing by being very close to the volcano.
Yeah.
They had to deal with all the ash. They got over the tsunami, but honestly, like, they're pretty good now. So, but now that 120-foot wave is now still headed towards Kettenbang and the lighthouse with Tomang and his family.
It's probably growing, too.
Yeah. And so it's headed to all of these places at 60 miles an hour. God. Dude. So in Kettenbang, it was pitch black. You could barely see in front of you. Johanna had retreated back to her home in the hills while Willem was still with most of the locals in the village below, trying to control them. Be like, remember who's boss?
That's
in this moment, while you're screaming, remember, I'm your boss. And you owe me spices. That's what he's doing.
Fucking nutmeg.
So the tsunami arrived. The tsunami produced by Krakatoa would travel across the Sunda Strait right to Kettenbang, the 4th Point Lighthouse, and all the neighboring islands, again, at 60 miles an hour. But back on the island of Kettenbang, all the water had left the shore at the tsunami and built that wall. And it just slammed into the island. All the people saw... I'm sure one of their last things I saw was just a wall of water.
Yeah.
They're running for the hills towards Johanna's house. There's actually an account of a local Indonesian man had survived and wrote about the story. I'm going to read out his quote. It says, all of a sudden there came a great noise. We saw a great black thing a long way off coming towards us. It was very high and very strong. And as soon as we saw it was water, trees and houses were washed away. The people began to run for their lives. Not far off was some steep sloping ground. We all ran towards it and tried to climb up out of the way of the water. The way was too quick for most of them, and most drowned almost at my side. There was a general rush to climb up in one particular place. This caused a great block, and many of them got wedged together and could not move. They fought, they struggled, they screamed and crying all the time. Those below tried to make those above them move on by biting their heels.
Oh.
A great struggle took place for a few moments, but one after another, there were waves down and carried further away by the rushing waters. You can see the marks on the hillside where they fought for their life. Some dragged down with others with them. They could not let go of their hold, nor could those above them release themselves from the death grip.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Just horrifying.
Oh my God.
It just seems like everyone was panicking and there was just no place for them to go.
Yeah.
And so they ended up blocking themselves from safety.
Yeah.
So the entire coastlines of Java and Kettenbang were swept away. But even if you survived the tsunami, you still have the hot ash that's raining down on you. This is another quote from a survivor. This is from Johanna. This is from her next notebook. It said, suddenly it became pitch dark. The last thing I saw was the ash being pushed down through the cracks in the floorboards like a fountain. I turned to my husband And I said, where's the knife? I'll cut all our wrist. The knife could not be found. I felt a heavy pressure throwing me to the ground. Then it seemed as if all the air was being sucked away and I couldn't breathe. I don't want to read the rest of the quote because it's honestly so disgusting and terrifying and scary, but like her skin falls off.
What?
And she can't find her children and they're trapped and like,
oh my God.
It's honestly horrifying.
Did her children make it?
I'll get to that.
Okay.
So somehow Hannah and her family did survive, but her baby didn't. In her account, she said she didn't mourn the baby because she didn't want her baby to live in a world with this much horror.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was just actual hell on Earth. Series of hell.
Yeah.
Like the volcano, the sulfuric acid, the hot ash, the tsunami, the hot ash after the tsunami. Like just you have nowhere to go.
No breathing room whatsoever.
No one and everyone's in the same position.
Yeah.
So regarding the lighthouse, General Lyndon London was actually looking for the lighthouse to help him land the ship safely, but he couldn't find the lighthouse at all.
Oh.
The tsunami actually took out the 80-foot lighthouse.
Oh shit.
Just slammed right through it.
Nothing.
Yeah. And only the base remains today. You can go see it.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Tomang survived. His wife and his son didn't.
Oh.
So again, you can go see the original base today. They actually rebuilt another lighthouse. In total, the volcano killed 36,000 people. And again, the entire world went through a volcanic winter and had colder temperatures all year and made the moon blue at night.
Whoa.
Yeah. So though the original Krakatoa blew itself into pieces, it's come back and it's reforming and it's already had a few eruptions. Its new name is Anuk Krakatoa.
That's a knuck of that. 2 points.
That's
2
a
points.
good point. 1 point. Yeah, it's like coming back. Like it's just because it's a hot spot. Like it's just constantly creating these volcanoes.
That's so eerie.
Yeah. And that's the story of Mt Tambora and Krakatoa.
Jeez, that was good.
It's so intense. I honestly like this story took me forever to research because it was very hard to find these witnesses. And also it was so depressing.
That's so, I want to hear about her skin falling off.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you can
Trigger warning for everybody.
Or just skip this next, 30 seconds. So we're going back to Johanna. So anyone who could reach the top of the hill is now in her house. And she said, I felt people rolling over me. No sound came from my husband or children. I remember thinking, I want to go outside, but I can't straighten my back. I tottered, doubled up to the door. I forced myself through the opening. I tripped and fell. I realized the ash was hot, and I tried to protect my face and my hands. The hot bite of the pumice pricked like needles. Without thinking, I walked hopefully forward. Had I been in my right mind, I would have understood what a dangerous thing it was to plunge into the hellish darkness. I ran up against branches and did not think of avoiding them. I entangled myself more and more. My hair got caught. I noticed for the first time my skin was hanging off everywhere, thick and moist from the ash stuck to it. Thinking it must be dirty, I wanted to pull bits of the skin off, but that was more painful. I didn't know I had been burnt.
Oh my God.
So that's from this book from 1999 that the writer Ace Scarth. So if you want to read their story, this guy, I guess maybe he's a historian, his name's Ace Scarth, collected their letters.
Wow.
And collected all of the accounts from it. So that's where I found a lot of my stuff. So yeah, I find Indonesia fascinating and full of stories and overwhelming. And I've never been there. I think it'd be cool to go there to experience it on my own. But from just an outside perspective, just from stories, it's very wild.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
But I think a lot of people go there because it is very beautiful.
Yeah.
And people were very nice there. The food. Oh my God.
God.
I've had Indonesian food before. It is amazing.
Oh.
It's very spicy. I love it.
Sour cream. Just bring me some sour cream. That's all I need.
Don't do that.
I have to.
Yeah. So if you ever have a chance to eat Indonesian food, be aware that it is quite spicy, like blow your mind spicy, but it's so good. I love the spice on it. Yeah. But I found this quote, sorry, before we wrap up, that someone said on a documentary that I saw on Krakatoa. Mm-hmm. A neuroscientist his name is Abhijit Naskar. He said, when Mother Nature speaks, even God holds his silence.
Wow.
I love that.
I like that too.
Mm-hmm. It's a beautiful quote. Yeah, so a lot of this came from YouTube. I got most of this also from a podcast called Natural Disasters. It's not something you should binge because it's very anxiety inducing, but it's incredible storytelling, very professionally done. If you want to hear the same exact story, but professionally done, then go to Natural Disasters.
Yeah.
That's a great podcast. It's just very anxious. It makes me anxious.
That's heavy.
It's heavy.
Yeah.
A lot of this information is from National Geographic, the National Centers of Environmental Information, newgeography.com, Vintage News, and a website, very straightforward, How Volcanoes Work.
Ooh, ooh.
There's also a movie you can rent called Krakatoa, The Last Days. It's a docuseries on specifically Johanna William and Captain Lyndon Luden. But yeah, this is your first time on the podcast. How was it?
Yay, that was fun.
Yeah.
That was fun.
I do want to give a shout out to a town that's been listening.
Okay.
We actually were just talking about this place, Las Vegas.
Las Vegas.
I see y'all be listening.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had a very good time in Las Vegas multiple times.
I have never been. I want to.
Yeah.
I think I would win so much money gambling.
You really? Have you gambled before?
No.
Okay. That's a good mindset, though.
Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to kill it.
Yeah.
I'm going to walk away with millions.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we'll go to Indonesia.
Yeah. Exactly.
That will fund our trip.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a
Perfect.
plan. It's a date. See you there.
A date. Now, I thank y'all for listening. Las Vegas. Everyone I've met who's from Las Vegas sincerely loves it, and they say that there's an amazing local community because there's so much tourism there.
Oh, I'm sure.
That the local community is very strong.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really cool that anyone I've met who's from there is like, oh, I loved growing up there.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So thank y'all for listening, Las Vegas. I see y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you like the show, please share it. If you know someone who's interested in volcanoes or culture or whatever, having a good time, please share it. People trust your opinion. They'll trust you. And so therefore they will probably listen to the show, and it helps everything.
Yes.
So hell yeah, Indonesia.
That's right.
Y'all go.
Woo woo.
Do your thing. Cheers till next time.
And say goodbye to Lieutenant Dan. Say hello.